Hello, I'm Sarah Runyons, and this is Hyperlocal in Huntsville, Alabama. Today, I am so excited to bring to you a couple of guests who are local business owners of Core and Restore Pilates here in Huntsville, Alabama. We have Maria Cox and Lauren Burgin, and they're going to share with us a little bit about the business they have here and about themselves, how it all got started, and what it's all about. Have you ever taken a Pilates class? Do you even know what that is? Okay, so we're going to learn more about that today from these two really experts. And so, ladies, would you begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself and what it is that your business does?
Sure. Thanks so much, Sarah, for having us on here. We're really excited to chat with you about our business.
Yeah.
We're in the South Huntsville area, bringing Pilates and a little bit of yoga also to the
Mhm.
area. Both of us have a background in Pilates, starting off as instructors. And then I'm also a physical therapist. And that's how I got started, actually, and introduced to Pilates was while I was in physical therapy school. And
Okay.
got my certification and have been teaching here in Huntsville. And then
Mhm.
Maria is happy to give a little bit of intro of her background too.
Good morning. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so
Good
much for
morning.
having us. So, I'm also a massage therapist, and I've been practicing Pilates and teaching Pilates for about 15 years. And I started when I was in Texas. So, I had my massage practice in Texas, and I realized how beneficial Pilates was for myself, and I saw the benefits. So, I thought to get certified to bring those benefits to my massage clients as well.
Okay. That is so wonderful. It's amazing the backgrounds each of you have that you bring to bear on this business, with the physical therapy background, Lauren, and then Maria with your massage therapy. Wow. In business, in life, we're not just one dimensional. We're multifaceted. And then when a business comes together, I always love to see, what it is, the dynamics that caused a person to choose that path. And so I can see where both of you had some things kind of directing you here. And could you elaborate on that maybe a little bit? Like before you launched the business, how did that experience lead you into this?
Um, yeah, so for me, actually, Maria is the one that kind of mentored me. I was new to Huntsville and trying to finish out my Pilates certification in the middle of COVID. And so she kind of took me under her wing. And that's how we kind of met up and got started, kind of on this Pilates journey together. She helped me finish out my certification and get everything squared away with that on the student side. And then on the instructor side, then we were both teaching. We talked about like it would be really cool if we could kind of marry all of our things together, the massage, the physical therapy, and the Pilates, because there is so much overlap between all three of those things. And we've definitely seen that come to fruition, like on a business side, that a lot of our clients just need a little bit more one-on-one attention, or like you said, have had other things going on in life, and trying to get started or continued in their wellness journey. We've found Pilates is just a really great method for them to like build confidence and get where they need to be going from a movement practice.
I I would like to dive into that even a little bit deeper because, just from like the physical therapy aspect and or the massage therapy aspect, how do those tie in specifically with what you're doing here with Core and Restore Pilates?
Um, I would say so. Despite what everybody would think from all the different like videos and things they've seen of Pilates, the equipment is actually designed to end up helping you get into different like positions or movements that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do unless you had the support potentially or resistance of the springs. So, and I find that a lot of our clients are really surprised. Like Maria will sometimes have a massage client that, she's been telling them like, this is going to be great for you. And they don't quite see how that's going to be true. And then we are able to like get them into the studio and they're like, oh my gosh, like this really is like really beneficial.
Can do
Yes,
this.
like I can do this and like I can't believe I'm doing this because we have the support potentially of the springs. And then slowly as they get stronger or learn the movement, we slowly take some of those things away. And it's really cool to see the transformation.
So, could you give maybe a concrete example of how the equipment can help somebody physically? I'll just leave it open like that so you can choose.
Yeah, sure. I feel like the easiest example that I could start with would be a squat. Everybody knows, a squat. We've all done them. We do them all the time in our everyday life.
Mhm.
And essentially, we have a version on our piece of equipment called the reformer, and you are laying down on your back and moving on the springs back and forth. And we always tell people, you guys are doing a squat, but you're just laying down. So we're just working on that potentially movement pattern. Whereas, they might not go down as far if we had them standing upright, but on the springs, they can go all the way in and out to, a lot deeper range than what they would do standing up. And then the progression, a lot of times, of that, or where we work up towards, is we have springs and they're holding on to them standing. And the springs actually, as they hold on to them, will give them support as they go down in the movement. And then
Mhm.
because you have the springs to help you, they help you actually come back up. So that's the simplest. I feel like everybody
Mhm.
knows a squat
Mhm.
to wrap your head around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so what would be a situation where somebody would need to do the squat like that who wouldn't want to be doing the squat standing up?
So I feel like we have a lot of people that say that they have knee issues.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and they're like, I can't bend my knees that far.
Yeah.
So that's a great example of when that would be really beneficial, or even people that have low back pain and they're not
Mhm.
comfortable bending down to pick something up off the floor, which
Right.
we all need to be able to do,
Yes.
getting
Yeah.
in and out of a chair. Um,
Mhm.
and being able to do that without difficulty.
Mhm.
So those are probably two easy examples. A lot of us have dealt with
So
knee.
I guess like as you're doing it in the modified way, then are you saying that over time they may become able to do it standing up?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And usually, honestly, a lot of our clients will be super surprised when they do the one standing and they're holding on to the springs and they're like, wow, I can go a lot lower than I would normally do a squat.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
think that's the squats are such a beneficial exercise, but it's also a very practical thing, like you say. I mean, we need to be able to do those things. And it's easy to take for granted for a young person who, can easily do that. But then as we age, these types of things can become a lot more difficult. And then, you just can't pick something up off the floor or put your socks on or whatever the case may be, right? So I think that's very practical.
yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else? And Maria, do you have anything you want to add to that?
She's being really accurate, but also for the squat, you need not just the strength, but the flexibility and mobility. So
Okay.
it's preparing that client as well towards, obviously, to the more advanced squat standing.
Mhm.
That come also obviously with the footwork and with exercise that Lauren has mentioned, so it's improving mobility, flexibility, and strength to keep
Mhm.
moving forward. And of course, trust your body, trust the process, and
Mhm.
trust the springs because it's a little bit different than some of the workouts. Trust the springs and yourself.
Mhm. So we've been talking about using the equipment, but what are some of the types of equipment that are used in Pilates?
So the really cool thing about our studio that I feel like sets us apart from a lot of the other studios in the area is you would qualify us as like a fully equipped studio, which a lot of people don't necessarily know what that means. But we have all of the traditional Pilates equipment.
Mhm.
A lot of people think of just the reformer, but there's a lot more to it than just that, Maria and I have both been fully trained on and can, have all the options available to clients. So we
Mhm.
have the reformer, and then right behind me here, you'll see
Mhm.
our Cadillac. And then in
Mhm.
the middle of us, you're going to
Mhm.
see our ladder barrel. Um,
Okay.
and we have one other that's called a chair, and a spine corrector. So we have
Mhm.
all of those things. And a lot of times people have only heard of really the reformer.
Mhm.
But we have the option to, use all of the pieces of equipment in the studio, to help people get to the goals, that they want to accomplish.
Okay. So you would say that's something that sets you apart perhaps from other Pilates studios in the area.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. And I know there are, I think, probably several, right? But you guys definitely have such a nice foundation of professional expertise in other areas that you bring to bear upon this, plus your Pilates certification uh, and all of that. Is there anything else that would set you apart that you could say um, maybe in this area?
I would say also just the fact that we have small class sizes. So our
Mhm.
classes are only 4 people at the most
Mhm.
right now. Um,
Yeah.
Down the road, we might expand that a little bit, but that's something that I would say a majority of our clients really love about the
Yeah.
studio
Mhm.
is that even if it's a full class of 4 people, they feel like they're getting really like
Very
personalized
personalized.
attention
Mhm.
throughout the class, and it really
Mhm.
lends itself for us to be able to be a little bit nitpicky
Mhm.
about what everybody's doing and making sure that like they're getting the most out of the exercise, and the class, because everybody is really busy.
Mhm.
Time is really important, and people are taking the time to come to our class. We want them to get the most out of it.
Maximize their time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was able to attend a class with you guys, and I'm not super close to you, but I would love to come again because it was such an amazing experience. And I definitely felt that you were continually working with people individually, and people were benefiting from all the little tweaks you were making. And, so, I can definitely attest to that fact. I apologize. I'm sitting with a light, but I also have blinds, and I tried adjusting my blinds. And so window light's great, but I couldn't quite make the light. If I open them completely, I'm just totally white. So the sun is so bright at this time of day right now. So I apologize for that. So if you would describe sort of like the heart or the core mission behind what you do.
Really, I feel like we would really just like to get the Pilates method out to as many people as possible in the area, and so that they can feel the benefits of, what we have to offer, and just helping people continue moving. We really feel like, the philosophy of like movement is medicine and use it or lose
Mhm.
it are so true, that the more people we can like encourage and feel like they have a community that is supportive of their goals and just continuing to move, we want to be a place that's a kind of a hub and
Mhm.
feel like that they're welcome here, no matter where they're starting on the journey. And we've definitely seen that come true among our clients, where they're like
Mhm.
introducing themselves to new people that come into
Mhm.
class and like explaining
Mhm.
why they like here and the benefits.
Mhm.
And it's really been a real privilege and blessing for us to see that start
Mhm.
to come, as being a newer business.
Mhm.
The studio existed before us, but we really want to make it into something that's a really thriving, and busy studio that has the atmosphere that everybody feels like, oh yeah, I can walk in and it's not such a scary thing to start something new. Because so many people tell us like, I cannot do Pilates. Like I don't know how to do it. It looks really intimidating. There are springs. The equipment looks really intimidating. So, you know, our goal is really to just help as many people continue moving in the area.
Okay, and you brought out a point that this was a studio before you took it over. Was it also a Pilates studio?
Yeah,
Correct.
Okay, it would be something good for people to differentiate and realize, okay, you're in the same location, it's a different Pilates business. And why don't you tell everyone where you're located right now?
Sure. Yeah. We are right off of the Memorial Parkway. We're in the shopping center with Rosie's Mexican restaurant, which everybody is relatively familiar with. And we have a nice bright red sign that says Pilates that everybody can see from the parkway. That's what everybody's been telling us. So that we're easy and conveniently located, you know, for you to just hop off the parkway and over to us.
Okay, excellent. Tell us something about you, each of you. I want you to tell me something about each of you that is like a hobby, habit, or just a fun fact that might surprise people about you.
I'm a black belt in karate.
Oh, no, that is a surprise.
I competed in the nationals 3 times when I was in Spain. So that's the fun fact. Unfortunately, at this time, I don't practice only because due to my job, I have to make sure that I don't get hurt like I did a couple of years ago when I broke my arm in a very, very silly way, right?
Yes.
So it's something that maybe at some point I will start again because it's something that I love. But for now, but that's the fun fact. I black belt in karate. I was very, very involved growing up, and in Spain, I'm practicing 6, 7 times a week. And I wish I had known Pilates at the time because it would have been extremely beneficial. But that's okay. There is a link over there, and yes, I miss it. And maybe sometime I'll bring it back into my life. But for now, I can't afford that. I can afford to take the risk, so I have to make choices.
Right. Well, okay. That is pretty, it was very interesting. Very interesting. I would never have guessed, but that, because you're just such a sweet lady. But you could do some karate on us.
But in the mat, I'm different. And I used to compete in kumite, which is sparring. It was fighting. Yeah. I know that's
okay.
Yes, it was fun. I met friends. It was a great time of my life. I mean,
yeah. Well, that is awesome, though. That's wonderful. Okay, so Lauren, what about you?
Probably something surprising. 2 things. I used to play tennis when I was in college. So I played for a small Division II school in Pennsylvania called Slippery Rock University, which most people have never heard of.
Wow. I haven't.
Yes, I was like, it's very small. And then in my spare hobby that people would not probably expect from me is I like to crochet. So I crochet dish scrubbies in the evenings.
Well, I think that's a great pastime. It's a great pastime. One of my daughters taught herself to crochet just using YouTube videos. And I've been amazed at the things that she crochets, and she even creates patterns. She gets really detailed and she'll make her own patterns. And that's just sort of a pastime for her, but she enjoys it.
It is amazing, like the videos, you know, out there.
It's amazing.
Yourself.
Yeah. I mean, she was so determined that she wanted to learn to crochet, and someone had kind of gotten her started with it, and she wanted to go deeper. And so she did.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So now I know that you two, you seem to be very passionate about helping people. And when it comes to helping people, that translates to the community as a whole. So, how does your business connect with or serve the Huntsville community?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, like we're still in our beginning stages and trying to find, ways to get involved in the community. We
Yeah.
really enjoyed in the spring, the shopping center that we're a part of does a big Rosie's Fest. So that
Hmm.
was really fun for us to get involved with the community and
Hmm.
part of that. And we're hoping to, get more involved as we're building the business and making some different connections
Yeah.
with everybody, and would love to be a
Hmm.
part of some wellness expos or different
Hmm.
partnering with other small businesses in the community in any
Hmm.
way that we can. Uh, so it's really more a part of, the beginning stages and us figuring out
Yeah.
how we can be better involved in the community,
Hmm.
better serve everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure that you'll find your way. And so tell us when you opened. When did you open? Because it's been relatively recent.
We opened in April of
Okay.
2025.
April of 2025. So not even a year yet.
Not even a
No.
year.
Yeah. So you have plenty of time to figure all of that out. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us about your business and how you could be involved with the community potentially even more going forward because you haven't been in business for very long. But if you could dream big with no limits, what would you love for your business to become?
Yeah, our end vision and big dream, and that's what we've always had from the start, is eventually to kind of marry everything together. You've heard about our backgrounds, physical therapy and massage, and eventually our end goal and what we want the studio to become is kind of a wellness hub, and
Mhm.
be able to do in-house massage therapy with Maria doing that here at the studio. We have an extra room in the studio that has a lot of potential for us. And then
Mhm.
also having physical therapy potentially options for clients as well, so that it
Mhm.
can kind of be in some ways endless kind of cycle for everybody where, they can easily flow from one thing to the next, starting out on the rehab side of things,
Mhm.
for to make that jump into the, more wellness movement on their own. Then we have the Pilates kind of bridge to get them there. Oftentimes, Maria and I both find that people are kind of scared of that next step. They're ready to get moving, but they don't feel like confident or unsure if they're going to do worse by going off on their own, to start
Mhm.
working out or going to a class. And we want them to have like a trusted place that they feel like they could easily
Mhm.
step into class and they would be fine. They'd be ready
Mhm.
to make that next step. So that's our end goal.
That sounds like a really comprehensive care. I love that because, as you say, normally if you go to PT and then you decide to branch out and take a class, the instructor is not going to know your history or background and they may not know what you should or shouldn't do. But you would know that because they've already been in your PT care, or maybe you've already dealt with them with massage, or maybe the PT care leads them to some particular type of massage or exercise with Pilates. So I love that. I love that just total wellness kind of thing. I do believe that sadly, our healthcare system treats people sort of in a silo. We're just sort of all focused on one aspect and not looking at the total person. And so I love that you to have that as part of your end goal. And I hope that comes to fruition. And if it does, we'll have to have another interview and one where my blinds aren't on my face like this. But no, that would be great. I would love to just feature you guys again, hearing about the PT and the massage and the Pilates all together. That is sounds like a dream job, right?
That
So
really
Totally.
is. That's
It
basically what
is.
we're
a
trying to
dream
create out
business.
of the business.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
our dream, how we want to be working
Oh,
with the.
absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I have learned so much from you today, and I hope that our audience has as well. And I hope that perhaps by watching this, it will give people an idea of, what you do, and maybe even, lead some people to come see you.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you so
Sarah.
much,
We really
Sarah, for having
appreciate it.
us.
Yeah.
You're most welcome. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.